There is a bird alive right now that could kill you with one kick. There is another one that lays an egg so massive it could feed a family of 10. And there was one, now extinct, that stood taller than a giraffe, but had a brain the size of a walnut. None of these birds can fly, not one. And yet they are some of the most powerful, most bizarre, and most misunderstood creatures on Earth. They're called Ratites. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at an ostrich, an emu, or even your backyard chicken the same way again. Let's meet the giants who forgot how to fly and turned into something even more terrifying. The ostrich, the sprinting giant. Let's start with the biggest bird on the planet, the ostrich, native to the plains of Africa. An ostrich can grow over 9 feet tall and weigh close to 150 kilograms. That's heavier than most grown men, with legs that could snap bone. Here's the wild part. Ostriches can't fly, but they don't need to. They run. At speeds up to 70 kilometers per hour, they are the fastest land bird on Earth, faster than a racehorse in a sprint. Their kick isn't a joke either. A single strike from an ostrich has enough force to kill a lion. Yes, a lion. Predators in Africa know better than to underestimate them. And here's a fun mythbuster. Ostriches do not bury their heads in the sand. That story came from watching them lower their heads to turn their eggs in shallow nests. In reality, when a threat comes, they either run or they fight. The emu, Australia's wandering giant. Fly across the ocean to Australia, and you'll meet the ostrich's cousin, the emu. Slightly smaller, but just as strange, emus can grow up to 6 feet tall, and they're famous for one very odd biological twist in emu society. The males sit on the eggs. For nearly 2 months, the father barely eats or drinks, guarding the nest almost non-stop, while the mother wanders off. Emus have also survived something almost no other bird has, an actual war. In 1932, the Australian government literally deployed machine guns against emus that were destroying crops. The birds won. Historians now call it the Great Emu War. And yes, it's real. And yes, the emus basically embarrassed the army. They're curious, fast, and surprisingly social, often seen wandering in small groups across the outback, completely unfazed by humans. The Rhea, South America's quiet giant. Now let's cross into South America, where the Rhea rules the grasslands. Smaller and lighter than the ostrich or emu, Rheas still stand about 5 feet tall, with soft, shaggy feathers that make them look almost fluffy compared to their African and Australian relatives. Rheas live in flocks and have a fascinating survival trick. Multiple females will lay their eggs in one shared nest, and a single male takes on the responsibility of raising the entire group of chicks. It's basically nature's version of a daycare system, one dedicated father managing dozens of eggs at once. They're calm, communal, and built for the open pampas, Argentina and Brazil's rolling grasslands. The cassowary, the most dangerous bird on Earth now. Here's the one that should genuinely make you nervous. Deep in the rainforests of Australia and New Guinea lives the cassowary, and wildlife experts often call it the most dangerous bird alive. Why? Look at its feet. Each foot has a dagger-like claw nearly 12 centimeters long, sharp enough to slice through skin and muscle in one strike. Cassowaries can jump and kick with terrifying precision, and there are documented cases of these attacks being fatal to humans. But here's the twist. Cassowaries aren't naturally aggressive hunters. They're shy, forest-dwelling fruit eaters. They only turn deadly when they feel cornered or threatened. In fact, they play a vital ecological role. Cassowaries eat rainforest fruit and spread seeds across huge distances, making them one of the most important gardeners of the jungle. Beautiful blue-faced, crowned with a strange bony helmet called a casque, the cassowary looks like something out of a fantasy film. And honestly, it kind of is. The Kiwi, the tiny underdog. Now let's shrink things down, dramatically. Meet the Kiwi, New Zealand's most iconic bird, and one of the strangest members of the Ratite family. Unlike its giant cousins, a kiwi is roughly the size of a chicken. But don't let the size fool you. Kiwis break records too. They lay the largest egg relative to body size of any bird on Earth. Imagine a woman giving birth to a toddler. That's roughly the proportional challenge a kiwi mother faces. Kiwis are also nearly blind, nocturnal, and have nostrils at the very tip of their beak, an incredibly rare trait among birds. Instead of relying on sight, they smell their way through the forest floor, sniffing out worms and insects underground like a furry, feathered detective. They're shy, endangered, and deeply symbolic, so beloved that New Zealanders call themselves Kiwis in the bird's honor. The giants that disappeared now for the part of this story that feels almost mythical. Not long ago, geologically speaking, the Ratite family included true monsters. In New Zealand, the moa stood up to 12 feet tall, dwarfing even the ostrich. With no natural predators for millions of years, moa evolved without fear. Until humans arrived, within a few hundred years, every species of moa was gone. And in Madagascar, the elephant bird may have been the heaviest bird to ever exist, potentially over 500 kilograms. Its eggs were so enormous that some cultures believe they inspired ancient legends of giant mythical birds capable of carrying elephants. Both went extinct due to human hunting and habitat loss, a sobering reminder that even nature's giants aren't invincible. So here's what's wild. Ostriches, emus, Rheas, cassowaries, and kiwis all share one ancient evolutionary story. Millions of years ago, their ancestors gave up flight completely, and in exchange, evolution gave them speed, size, power, or in the kiwis' case, an incredible sense of smell. They are living proof that losing one ability doesn't mean losing your edge. Sometimes it means becoming something even more remarkable. If you found these flightless giants as fascinating as I do, hit subscribe, because next time we're diving into a topic even weirder than this one. Until then, stay curious.